as given by the Ministry of Health. It's a Monday morning. Good morning and welcome to the show. If you are watching us for the very first time, this is UBC TV and we come to you from the live avenue. My name is Julie F. Nantaba with Robert Chirabo Nyonyintono. Robert, good morning and how was your weekend?
A lovely morning to you, Julie, and of course our viewer. Thank you very much for waking up with us. My weekend wasn't that good. It was covered with a lot of news of death. The weekend, we began it Friday. A building capsized in Kisasi, three-story building that was under construction, and we lost 3 people. I don't know if the death toll has increased as of maybe yesterday late evening, but 3 were gone, a number injured. Then also the sudden death of this rugby player, Sydney Gogodio, dying. Death we shall all die at one time. 100 years from now, there is nobody who is above 20 years that is going to be living from today. So we shall all die. But how we meet our Creator? I've already said people die natural death. That is what I call God-timely death. And that is, the Bible assures us, you see your children and children of your children. So that is natural death. There is what we call preventable death. There is risky death, where you have led yourself into the arms of the shadow of death. But when we see a young man, very promising, I was watching a clip of the wife and son, I think, during a vigil or something like that, a man who has organized his future, very healthy, and he's taken in mob justice, 100% innocent. Now, but also there is a story I'm following of that is Lydia Babidi, who was murdered, that is in Tinda, by allegedly a lover. Then again there's another lead showing that yes, this person called the family, she was kidnapped for ransom. So the information is still, she was kidnapped for ransom. Then they asked 19 million. I think they paid 7 million. Then later, but I want to thank CMI and our security because of late when such murders happen, they get us the suspects, who of course you're innocent until proven guilty by a competent court. But at least the leads, and when you bring, when it's like a puzzle and you bring pieces together, you see at least it's not like they have arrested people, but exactly you see they have arrested someone, they have been able to go to the scene, they have seen the body, you see. So they are doing great. However, these are some of the stories that I was thinking of over the weekend. So you can be walking,
questioning a lot.
yes, and someone frames you, so someone can kidnap and still ask for ransom. We thought this was gone and dusted. Right. Yes.
And indeed, if you talk about mob justice, this is some of the reasons why Ugandan authorities, the police, indeed discourages mob justice, because you just never know who you're beating. Are they innocent? Are they guilty? But on a lighter note, away from the heavy, sad news, on a lighter note, UBC TV will be broadcasting the World Cup. June is also World Cup month. So for all the action games and the action packs that you think you'd want to watch for the World Cup, make sure that you tune into UBC TV as you catch up on all the updates and the full games as they come through. What a privilege to be able to share the World Cup as it operates.
Coming to your sitting room free of charge.
Right, even on free-to-air, by the way, even on free-to-air. But on that note, allow us to take you through the updates that we have this morning from the weekend. And we start off with matters local scene updates. Robert, what do we have this morning?
Well, while chairing the meeting, the Prime Minister emphasized the need for unity and assured the people of a shared vision among leaders, noting that coordinated efforts are essential for achieving a meaningful development and improving the livelihoods of Wananchi. Nabanja congratulated the newly elected caucus leaders and urged them to take a leading role in mobilizing communities and promoting government programs across the region. Now, the Minister-designate for Local Government, Barambar Gahara, called for improved coordination and streamlined operations within local governments to enhance service delivery and accountability. Meanwhile, the Minister-designate for Science, Technology and Innovation, Engineer Janad Asimwe, pledged to work closely with various ministries and agencies to support economic growth and innovation. The newly elected chairperson of the Bunyoro Parliamentary Caucus, Dr. Emily Kugonza, the Buyaga East Member of Parliament from Kibale District, pledged to work with all legislators from the region to champion socio-economic transformation and address the needs of the people. The new caucus leadership includes Nora Bijirwa Nyendoha as Deputy Chairperson, Margaret Akiki Nazwa as Treasurer, Rogers Biamukama as General Secretary, Kasule Ismail Amoti as Publicity Secretary, Pius Wakabi as Chief Whip, and Flora Natumanya as Welfare Secretary. Moving on, the Permanent Secretary Office of the President, Haj Yunis Kakande, has notified the public to guard against fraudsters soliciting money, promising posts of RDCs, deputies, and assistants. He has ruled out pending changes in the offices. Shortly after the announcement of the new cabinet last month, the public was thrown into speculation as the president was making changes in his representatives at district, city, and division levels. The Permanent Secretary Office of the President, Haj Yunus Kakande, warned the general public against fraudsters on the matter. So the current office bearers need to supervise and implement government programs. About salaries, Haj Kakande noted that this matter has been referred to the 2027-2028 financial year. So if you're there, let nobody take your money promising you that, well, you'll be on the list of new RDCs, the deputies and assistants. As of now, there is nothing like that. So please do not allow anyone to take money from you. You know, people are very funny in Uganda. It's very easy for someone to say, there's a way I can get you on that list, and you become an RDC, you become a deputy RDC. But get us 20, 15, and the way Julie people pay huge sums for jobs in Uganda is also amazing. Or it makes you wonder, if I want to be an RDC, why would I cough 20 million? How am I going to recover this money? And why would I pay 15 million? When you hear of monies people claim they gave to certain people, there are lots of monies.
Right. I hope we get to a place of service as leaders where you do not have to do anything to buy a position, because ultimately you're wasting your time in that position. You're not serving. You're only serving your stomach, and it will be only temporal.
You're recouping your investment.
Yeah, which investments won't last, by the way, because eventually they will rot away. So, you know, you might as well go there for the heart of service, serving Uganda, your country, and not yourself. It's better. In all honesty, it's better. What more do we have on the local scene?
Well, basically, we just have that. You know, it's a weekend. It was a weekend. So sometimes you don't have so much. But I also saw another interesting story of NRM people who are saying we were told to step down and promised positions of ministers. Still, I was wondering, what the hell is happening? Oh, ambassadors, and now that when we saw that list, we are not there. Like, oh.
We come back to the place of service. I hope in this Chisanja no sleep, the president will also be looking out for the heart of service amongst the people that he selected than just the privilege of being in those positions. Now, let's have a look at what we have on the foreign scene this morning, and we're starting off with matters Ukraine. The leaders of Ukraine and its close European allies, the UK, France, and Germany, have set out 5 conditions for reaching a just and lasting deal to end the war in Russia. In a joint statement after talks in London, Volodymyr Zelensky, UK Prime Minister Sir Keir Starmer, French President Emmanuel Macron, and German Chancellor Friedrich Merz said they would stand firmly with Ukraine. The 5 conditions include a stop to the fighting, starting negotiations from the current position in the field, as well as robust security guarantees for Ukraine. The leaders reiterated the need for the U.S. to be part of the process at a time when U.S. President Donald Trump's focus has shifted to the war with Iran. Back in December, the U.S. pushed Russia and Ukraine to sign up quickly to a plan to end the war, which began with Russian President Vladimir Putin's decision in February 2022 to launch a full-scale invasion of its neighbor. The warring sides have recently intensified attacks against each other, with Russia using missiles and drones to attack Ukrainian cities, and Ukraine displaying increased abilities to reach deep into Russian territory with new technology. On Saturday, Ukrainian drones hit Russia's second-largest city, St. Petersburg, as it hosted the final day of a major economic forum, an attack described as unprecedented by Russian authorities. Now, the Israeli army has killed at least 13 people and injured dozens of others across the Gaza Strip since dawn, according to information gathered by Al Jazeera, as Egypt began hosting a new round of talks with leaders from Hamas and other Palestinian factions to salvage a ceasefire. Sunday's attacks came in the Al-Mawasi area near the southern city of Khan Yunis in Gaza City and Deir el-Balah, according to our colleagues on the ground, quote unquote. Major fighting has been paused since October 2025 under the United States blockade ceasefire, but no agreement has been reached to implement a further U.S.-backed plan for Israeli troops to withdraw, Hamas to disarm, and Gaza to rebuild or to be rebuilt after more than 2 years of heavy Israeli bombardment. Hamas told envoys from the Board of Peace and mediators Egypt, Qatar, and Turkey that ending Israeli attacks in Gaza was essential for any progress, according to sources from the group and officials close to the talks in Cairo, who spoke to the Reuters news agency. And on to the second largest continent in the world, that is Africa. South Africa's President Cyril Ramaphosa has addressed the nation to announce a raft of new measures to crack down on illegal migration as tensions rise over anti-foreigner marches and frustrations about high unemployment. These steps include jailing employers who hire undocumented workers, setting up dedicated courts to speed up deportations of undocumented migrants, and having a register with biometric data for every person in the country to stamp out identity theft. But he also warned South Africans not to take the law into their own hands. Over the last few weeks, several African nations have been organizing the evacuation of some of their nationals as fears of violence grow. Anti-migrant groups are demanding undocumented migrants leave the country and have set 30th June as the deadline. Last weekend, several hundred African migrants fled their homes in the Overberg region of South Africa's Western Cape province after reports of door-to-door intimidation, as well as the deaths of 2 Mozambicans in Mossel Bay. Many sought shelter in community halls at the beach or nearby mountains. Some have opted to return home, and this weekend another group of around 140 people boarded buses to Malawi and Mozambique. In Durban, foreigners have been camping outside the city's Home Affairs Department for several weeks, saying they fear for their lives. Now, I understand quite a number of Ugandans operate in SA. I wonder how safe they are. But also one would wonder if this is important that South Africans are considered first for jobs, but also one would wonder if they are ready for the jobs as a population. They are well prepared to operate and deliver in those jobs. Because I understand perhaps one of the reasons more outsiders or other citizens of other African nations are in South Africa is because maybe they could deliver in certain positions better than the population of the South Africans. But I'm not yet sure on that front how it's operating.
Well, first and foremost, we must condemn any acts like what is happening in South Africa.
Yeah.
Because there are South Africans in other countries as well. Now, we don't want a scenario where also the South Africans in other countries are told to pack their bags and go back to South Africa. Second, you find that South Africans, there are jobs they don't do or they don't feel they want to do. But then some of these immigrants are there and doing that work. So they feel they don't want to do that particular kind of jobs, but these ones are doing them, and they're providing fairly cheaper labor. Now, employers will go for cheaper labor because the world of business is about maximization of profit. But by and large, I would say we cannot accept and allow in this day and age, most of a country like South Africa, where many African countries contributed so much to its independence. Say Uganda, we did train, you know, fighters against apartheid. So we own South Africa. Actually, we demand a lot from them.
All right.
Than they could demand from us.
Indeed. Looking forward to a deeper conversation on the things that we can learn and relearn from that particular one and that particular front. But Robert, the dailies are quite interesting this morning. What do we have? I saw the Daily Monitor has a very interesting headline, but let's start with the New Vision. Well,
the New Vision, businesswoman kidnapped and killed. That is the story I began with. Asking 19 million for ransom, 7 paid, but finally still they killed this lady. Then also government plans 300 e-buses to fix Kampala traffic problem. Now I'm thinking with the coming in of these huge buses, will it give us the magic we've been waiting for? And 41 suspected Ebola cases tested negative in Kasese. Praise the Lord. 70 launches. That is construction of Kidepo International Airport. Infrastructure development. Chisanja, no sleep. We are seeing that launch now there. Now allow me go to the Daily Monitor. There is a big headline there. I won't go into that. It's displayed on your screen. Then Ragibe bids farewell to murdered star. And still government boards procurement reset. The end of fragmented buying. And so many stories are in the Daily Monitor this morning, but let's see what Julie has for us.
Totally excited for the procurement reset and the end of fragmented buying in the new procurement system. Anyways, looking at the Daily Nation in Kenya, representing the rest of East Africa, security chiefs meet over schools crisis. That's the headline there. And playing hardball, education officials have vowed schools won't close early for mid-term break. Court clips duels wings in MKU degree course. Row and NTSA warns court order doesn't stop instant fines. Now a quick look at what we have in the Gazette this morning, and the Gazette that is as of the 5th day of June 2026. We do have a table of contents in the Gazette, but some of the notices to pay heed to. We do have been known that on the 24th day of October 2025, Didis Elias, an advocate of the High Court, has been appointed to be Commissioner for Oaths under the above-mentioned Act for so long as he continues to practice as such advocate and the commission is not revoked, given under the hand of the Chief Justice, then 24th day of October 2025, that is Chief Justice Alfonso Chigamoy Owinyi Dolo. And also it is hereby notified that exploration license number EL00754, registered as number 003756, has been granted in accordance with the provisions of section 42 and 46 to Feldstein Trading Limited, PO Box, plot 2 of plot 2 Chambogo View Road, Ministers Village, PO Box 162027, Kampala, for a period of 4 years, effective 4th May 2026, dated as of 11th of May 2026, under the hand of Honorable Dr. Ruth Nankabirwa, Sentable Minister of Energy and Mineral Development. With that, we end what updates we have this morning. When we get back, it's another conversation, and like I said, be part of the show fully and entirely. 0709 602 592. Let's have a short break and we'll be right back. Good morning.
Live from UPC Studios in Kampala, this is Good Morning Uganda.
Good morning, Uganda. It's a Monday, the 8th of June 2026, making it budget week for Uganda. And of course, it's budget month. How was your weekend? Be part of the show, 0709602592, as we start the week all together, welcoming you back from the weekend that was. And as of yesterday, at least as of the time we closed the day and got into the night, Ebola cases in Uganda still confirmed to stand at 19, and that means 14 imported cases and 5 Ugandan contact traces, or 5 Ugandan infections from within Uganda. 13 admissions in total, 2 deaths, both imported, and 4 discharges. That's how we stand as far as the fight against Ebola in Uganda, and hoping for it to get better and better as long as we follow the SOPs as given by the Ministry of Health. It's a Monday morning. Good morning and welcome to the show. If you are watching us for the very first time, this is UBC TV and we come to you from the live avenue. My name is Julie F. Nantaba with Robert Chirabo Nyonyintono. Robert, good morning, and how was your weekend?
A lovely morning to you, Julie, and of course our viewer. Thank you very much for waking up with us. My weekend wasn't that good. It was covered with a lot of news of death. The weekend, we began it Friday. A building capsized in Kisasi, a 3-story building that was under construction. And we lost 3 people. I don't know if the death toll has increased as of maybe yesterday late evening, but 3 were gone, a number injured. Then also the sudden death of this rugby player, Sydney Gogodio, dying. Death, we shall all die at one time. 100 years from now, there is nobody who is above 20 years that is going to be living from today. So we shall all die. But how we meet our Creator? I've already said people die natural death. That is what I call God timely death. And that is, the Bible assures us, you see your children and children of your children. So that is natural death. There is what we call preventable death. There is risky death, where you have led yourself into the arms of the shadow of death. But when we see a young man, very promising, I was watching a clip of the wife and son, I think, during a vigil or something like that. A man who has organized his future, very healthy, and he's taken in mob justice, 100% innocent. Now, but also there's a story I'm following of that is Lydia Babidi, who was murdered. That is in Tinder by allegedly a lover. Then again there's another lead showing that yes, this person called the family, she was kidnapped.
Was brought to you by
I'll call you every day, yeah yo, baby, don't know.
You can now get all the Chibuzi out with MTN voice bundles. Call all networks. Kubei Dondoro. Buy a 25-minute voice bundle for only 1,000, or buy any daily voice bundle of your choice. Dial *100 *21# and select daily, or use the My MTN app. When we talk together, we are unstoppable.
Exercise can't be sustained. Eating can't be stopped. It's even harder to lose weight. Come and give it a try. Genshikang L-carnitine chromium capsules. Plant extract, scientific ratio. Take 3 capsules each time. The active ingredient accelerates fat burning, eat twice a day. Don't take a detour.
I'm paying both taxes on my own premises. If you want to have a tin, but you are not making any income from your business, you should take on the obligation to continue filing your nil return.
General, to invest in taxation. When people understand taxes and they know the importance of taxes and they know the fair assessment of these taxes they're supposed to pay, I think everybody will embrace taxation.
As banning groupage cargo clearance protects small traders who cannot afford to import full container loads individually and rely on consolidation to remain competitive. Cargo to come in groupage is consolidation, it's legitimate, and we can't ban it. What we have banned, or what we have stopped, is the use of container leaders. Now, Fiona, the good news I have for you is that among the new tax proposals,
now you can get direct answers. Send your tax-related questions via WhatsApp or SMS to 0790-141-887, and the Commissioner General of URA, John Musinguzi, will personally address them. Tune in to UBC News Tonight every Monday and Wednesday for expert insights and clear explanations. Booza Commissioner.
A very good morning to you. It is Good Morning Uganda here on UBC TV, coming to you live from the Nile Avenue. It's a Monday morning and glad to start the week with you and the day with you. If it's a Monday blue, it shouldn't be. Change that mindset right now, because it's how the mindset is that indeed informs the rest of your day. You ought to start it energetic and encouraged. And the good thing is, at UBC TV, we are always here to inspire you. That is the goal, and we make sure that we do that and land that goal for you. Now, if you're just joining us, thank you so much for watching the show. If you started the show with us, thank you so much for choosing to start your morning with us. My name is Julie F. Natava with Robert Chirabo Nyonyintono, and this morning we're looking at, starting with a sad story that is informing the conversation that we have this morning. We're looking at the story that, of a sad story that occurred on Friday of a building that collapsed in Chisasi Kasota village, Kawempe division, triggering an extensive search and rescue operation by the Uganda police forces. And therein, where police confirmed 3 bodies, 3 male victims believed to be construction workers of that building that collapsed on that day. Kampala Metropolitan Police spokesperson Rachel Kawala confirmed the 2 of the deceased whose names have been identified, as one who is known as Jonathan Chivumbi and the other popularly known as Rasta, but his name so far known as James, and their bodies being taken to the morgue at Mulago. But looking at some of the statistics of buildings collapsing in Uganda, at least 41 structural failures and building collapses have occurred across Uganda between the year 2019 and 2026, resulting in more than 90 fatalities. And these incidents are primarily concentrated in the Kampala metropolitan areas, looking at casualties where structural failures in regions like, of course, Kampala, Jinja and PJ have left dozens injured and over 90 dead. 90 is quite a number, you know. And looking at the reason why, majorly leaning to widespread non-compliance. A survey by the National Building Review Board revealed that 88% of buildings across 11 major cities failed to comply with the Building Control Act. Now, let's delve deep into why we think these incidents or cases are quite rampant in Uganda. Be part of the conversation. 0709 602 592. Robert, coming over to you. What usually causes building collapses in Uganda, do you think?
There are quite a number of factors. It can't be, it's not a single factor that we can say this is the #1 reason.
Right.
Or the only reason. But first, let's begin with building materials that we are using today.
In line with quality or
in terms of
quantity?
Quality, let's begin with quality. The Uganda Bureau of Standards, UNBS, many times they have impounded counterfeit cement. Today, if you're building a structure, you must be very careful. Are you buying the right cement? When we go to steel iron bars, there is an agreed or recommended size and type within different parts of a structure. Or you can call them gauges. But when we look at what is being manufactured, is it what should be sold on market that people are buying? When we look at quite a number of materials used in the building industry, Julie, believe you me, even if you just look at some of the paints on market, not all I said, but some of the paints on market. So we begin by looking at the quality, the counterfeited building materials on market. Because Julie, if you used wrong bars when you were growing up, you could look at, you know, it's a shame when they're demolishing an old house. If a house has been around for the last 5 decades or 6 decades and it's being demolished, and there is one that has been around for 5 years, you know that you just see the difference? This one bringing it down, whereas the other, even with a knock of few hammers, it's down. So that goes to the building materials. Now, away from the building materials, let's look at also speed of construction. I was speaking to one of the engineers and he told me in actual building there is time you're supposed to give for, if maybe it's a story building, for the slab to dry and all that. But today someone goes in the bank, gets a loan. He knows he has a pay time period. They'll build day and night.
That's true. Because
he wants occupants in this building and he begins getting rent to begin paying installments regarding the loan. So speed at which these buildings, the experts will tell you that time lapse you're supposed to give is not being given.
And you remind me of a building around Kabusu. There's a very brand new building, that commercial building that was put up. But I've followed the time frame under which it's been constructed. It's been so fast, and many times my heart skips every time right now I see that it has occupants, and my heart, so I'm always saying a prayer, God, let nothing happen, because it was constructed so fast.
So fast, because look at the columns you're building. They have to dry there. You know, there is so much. I'm not an expert in building, but even when you are working on your personal house, they will tell you at least for this floor, pour water, you know, leave it for about 3 days, this, that. But imagine these flats that are going up so fast. But also methods of saving in construction. We've come up with some technologies that some engineers will recommend for you when you're building your house. Amwami chirabo, okay, echo chikola na echa beyi. Neka tuwaliwo enkola tusobola okukola bwe netukozesa bubuloka bwe buti, like it should be done this way,
right?
But that is expensive. However, there is a way we can save and use this, use that. It still works. It may not be that strong, but it still works. Remember, unprofessional engineers, because you've named all of them engineers. When he comes, people who have built, you know this. When the man you bring him and tell him, I want a 5-bedroom house, this and this here, estimate, because he wants to get the job, he will give you a less figure. Getting this house, you know, it can cost you like $1 million. You know, to be, you know, they want to secure, so they want to sound cheap and show that all is possible. Now, along the way, the person tells you, after getting that money, he disappears. You begin calling and you bring another engineer. Then he will tell you, engineer. Then he will tell you, that one underestimated. You still need another 40 million, even just from this level to that. So, then also, we go to unprofessional people being used. Why am I talking about unprofessional people? One time I hosted engineers, professional engineers from their body. And I told him and I told them that, are you aware today people are using unqualified people to deliver what you're doing? A young boy came at a building, a construction site, and uncle brought him from Masaka or whatever place. First, his role was to push a wheelbarrow. Then he was elevated to sending bricks. Then the next day he knew how to put some cement on a brick. He came learning now after 20 years of experience. He's called engineer. He takes on serious work. And at the end of the day, these are things they are doing.
Right.
But also, I'll go to the authorities in charge of construction in this country of ours. Some of them are sleeping on job. If you come and tell us that that building, we halted construction, but people were building. You halted, people were building. By the time you came and halted, and it's on the main road, it's not hidden, how do you tell me that it went on? And lastly, the giant in the room, the elephant in the room, corruption. That Julie, people bribe. People know certain people in certain offices that when enforcement comes, they are left with nothing to do. I remember one time I was in Muyenga, that side of Muyenga, and these guys of KCCA came. I had gone to sell a dog to a client. Now, they came on their pickup, introduced themselves. I'm also here with my business. I've brought my business, selling to Kara. Now he tells me, Chirabo, who are those? I said, well, KCCA. I said, those people don't know. So they are telling me this building, they were on the right duty. He just picked a call, told one of them, the way they disappeared. So after some good time, I was at a washing bay, I meet one of them. It's like, it seems I've ever seen you. Well, if I said, I'd forgotten, I said, I think on TV. He said, no. There is this house you had come to, you and that man. I had to explain myself. I wasn't part, I'd also come to do business there. Said, I thought maybe memory, you know, those sayings. So sometimes we have people in this country who are having various forms of illegalities, and they do this with impunity. They do this with impunity. Over the weekend, I was watching a clip on one of the social medias where some division, they call division mayors, I think had held a meeting, and this removing of containers by restoration of trade order that is happening. Now, the committee was asking him, how come a certain man's buildings or makeshift whatever containers, you've not removed them? And listen to this man in an office, the reply he said. He told them, my brothers, the way they operate, someone, think the brain, he brought an ear and the brain. He said, for an year, you just go and you're operated. In a few hours, you're gone. But a brain surgery takes a lot of time. You know, this person has guns, and you want me to go? Actually, I'm brave enough that my boys were able to go and put these marks of remove. So he was even proud that at least, though they have not removed, like they have done for everybody, however, they were able, he said, we are even so strong that we are able to put those marks.
Wow.
So we have those challenges in our country, that there are people that will begin structures. KCCA may come. Some of these structures, construction is guarded, and they literally can do nothing.
Wow. It looks like the law is in bed with the thieves, and the thieves are in bed with the law to break the law. Now, as we are looking, we've looked at some of the causes for these rampant building collapses in Uganda. What we're really looking into for you to contribute is what is the leading cause of building collapses in Kampala. What do you think, in your view, is the cause? 0709-602592. Send a WhatsApp message, but also onto our X handle at UBCTV Uganda. The hashtag is UBCGNU. Share your opinion or even your experience at that. In a bit, we'll definitely be looking at what the law says as well. But Robert, when a building collapses, where does responsibility begin and end? Does it begin with the developer, contractor, engineer, local authority, or all parties? And where does it end anyways?
All parties. But for some time, the local governments, all the authorities have played smart, and we've been going for the engineers. We've been going for also the owners of that building. I remember one building collapsed in Kansanga, you remember? So these authorities have been having ways of excusing themselves. When they come, a building has collapsed, whose building was it? They locate that person, nab him. Who was the site engineer? Nab him. But the authority, they have been having a safe haven somewhere, and we've been pointing at, but we must understand, was this plan approved? Who did approve this plan?
We forget to ask those.
Yes, the authorities for this building to go ahead. Even some of the buildings that are finished, are they still as of plan? When someone is building, basement is parking. After the building, basement are shops or stores or something else. So, for me, I feel these authorities, someone should leave office. Someone should be arrested. Remember when we had the collapse of Chisasi? We saw an ED and a deputy, plus I think someone in planning. I don't know how that case ended, but I think it's still going on or something like that. But when these buildings collapse in various cities, local governments, municipalities, the people who are in charge. Because if you're constructing, however small, I come from a certain village along Entebbe Road. But in there, even if you began constructing today, believe you me, these people have a network on ground. You're still in the foundation. They will come for you if you don't have a plan. They will arrest those boys. I think you've seen their trucks with wheelbarrows and all that. They will arrest these boys as if these boys who are looking for something to eat could ask when someone came to them and told them, come we go, help me lift bricks. They come for these poor boys.
They are the bait to the owner, whoever is responsible.
And they will take them with the wheelbarrows.
Let's look at some of the views coming through. Good. What we're looking at is for you to tell us what you think, in your view, what is the leading cause of 02592. Good morning, UBC. The quality of materials used, weakness of UNBS. This is Uncle John Rukunjiri. Mr. Robert, you are talking about Mayor of Mubende on the Isle of Trade Order, the example that you had shared earlier. And good morning,
You told him to mention. May I just say that I knew the person, I didn't mention any name. But I think for me it was very funny. He would rather have kept quiet as a mayor, not to come out and appear funny like that.
Right. Good morning, UBC. Honoring from Gaba. To me, I think the engineer needs to be arrested for any collapsed building, because they are the ones who have to check the quality of the mixture of the materials used in building and the weight of the foundation made. Good morning, Julie and Robert. I'm Maxon Osuna from Tororo. Sometimes I pity those we buy. I pity those, I think, who buy already built houses, because the experience I have with construction sites, Julie and Robert, there's a lot of corruption out in construction due to less supervision. Some constructors instruct the helpers to mix over 6 wheelbarrows of sand in 1 bag of cement to build the flat, and also most people use senior helpers in constructing due to their cheap labor so that they can get much money. No wonder even KCCA approves the house even if it's poorly constructed because of money. Nzomgaga Saurembe nabweru mbuza lwaki ba engineer abazimba ekiro n'emisana ekizimbe. I wonder what the question meant, but I hear you on people who are constructing day and night. Bernard Kachira, rich government officials don't always take advice from physical planners and engineers. Why work with the so-called minister in charge of Kampala and director Kampala Capital City Authority, who knows nothing about standards of building and physical planning of the city? There's also the element of corruption. If city engineers tells me to break my building, I rather pay him some money and I retain my building. Good morning, UBC family. They're in pointing to corruption. Good morning, Uganda. It's unfortunate of the collapse of Chisasi building in Uganda. I feel we have not yet been up to standards of the works we do. We don't take responsibility while working. Both contractors and owners of such are as negligent as they don't mind. That's producing substandard work. Even the regulatory organs are corrupt to approve such works. Again, the safety standards is less considered. This is Edson Mohanji in Entebbe. Phillips from Karamoja. Good morning, Julie and Chirabo. Collapsing buildings in Kampala and other places in the country is because inexperienced engineers who head the construction at the sites, poor cement sand mixture, greed for quick researchers, lack of professional construction ethics, lack of enforcement of the building construction laws, training of engineers, see how roads are constructed, valleys, not roads even. Good morning, Julie, finally, and Robert. The rampant collapsing of the buildings reminds me of the nomadic pastoralists. We were taught who intentionally built temporary houses since they were pilgrims with their animals, but I personally summarize all that in one cause, which is lack of seriousness. Thank you so much, Cricket Derek, as well, for being on the show. Robert, as we begin to wrap this up, what does the law say?
Well, the law may not target specifically an individual.
Right.
No, because you look at all concerned parties. Now, let's begin with the local government law. How does it guard against buildings? For you, it will show you approvals. That for you to, the law is very clear. For you to start any building, one, you must have an approved plan. For any infrastructure, an approved plan, a building. Now, if you don't have it, there are penalties in there. Now, when we come to the profession of engineers, I'm not well conversant what the law says when it comes to that level. If an engineer constructs or is operating a site and it collapses, what is their fate? But also remember, there is something within this engineering profession, Julie. I think they have what they call certified engineers. But for you to get on that list, there's a procedure you go through. Very hectic, very complicated. That it renders very few to be counted into that category. And it makes them very expensive, therefore.
Right.
I think I've forgotten what their body is called. The engineers something. I've hosted their president. but they have that process that it should also reduce bureaucracy because they are few.
Right.
They're making sure being a certified, or there's a term they use, is very hard. So if you're going for the few that are present, Judy, they are very expensive. Now what are people doing? They'll go for these who have gone through the ranks that can deliver seemingly something that these do deliver.
Right.
So we must also look at that. Make it very simple. You have very many people, so that you're not charging very exorbitant fees for a site. Having a professional engineer on a site, yes, they have invested, they are professionals, but it's very expensive. That many people will go for the unprofessional and forget the side effects or the disadvantages.
Indeed, sad indeed. From this conversation, what we gather is quite a majority of three things: corruption, impunity, and the unseriousness of law implementation or law enforcement. Closing this off with a few comments. Good morning, UBC. It's Mr. Hustler from Kampala. I think these engineers should always be charged whenever the buildings they build collapse, out of lesson. And good morning. One of the reasons why building collapse is that the site engineer reports to make a design and leave the rest to the workers or for the porters and masons. Thank you so much for being on the show. We bring this conversation to a close. Up next is JMU Tourism Express. We do have business and the agenda as well as sports. So good morning.
Live from UBC Studios in Kampala, this is Good Morning Uganda.
My question is, what is the difference between rental tax and income tax? How comes I'm paying both taxes on my own premises? If you want to have a tin, but you are not making any income from your business, you should take on the obligation to continue filing your nil return.
Commissioner General, to invest in taxation. When people understand taxes and they know the importance of taxes and they know the fair assessment of these taxes they're supposed to pay, I think everybody will embrace taxation.
As banning groupage cargo clearance protects small traders who cannot afford to import full container loads individually and rely on consolidation to remain competitive. Cargo to come in groupage is consolidation, it's legitimate, and we can't ban it. What we have banned, or what we have stopped, is the use of container leaders. Now, Fiona, the good news I have for you is that among the new tax proposals,
Now you can get direct answers. Send your tax-related questions via WhatsApp or SMS to 0790-141-887 and the Commissioner General of URA, John Musinguzi, will personally address them. Tune in to UBC News Tonight every Monday and Wednesday for expert insights and clear explanations. Booza Commissioner.
Exercise can't be sustained. Eating can't be stopped. It's even harder to lose weight. Come and give it a try. Genshikang L-carnitine chromium capsules, plant extract, scientific ratio, take 3 capsules each time. The active ingredient accelerates fat burning, eat twice a day, don't take a detour. Weight loss starts now. Genshikang L-carnitine with chromium capsules helps you stay in shape. Please follow medical advice when taking this product.
And
know what Uganda needs. When General Caleb Akantwanaho retired, Salim Saleh presented his long, detailed analysis of Uganda's economy and structured recommendations for improvement in the form of the Third National Development Plan, NDP-3, to President Museveni. He laid out the kinds of problems that many Ugandans feel every day, but rarely see captured in one place. He was doing what he has done for years, breaking down the problems holding back ordinary Ugandans. He talked about distortions in factors of production, such as land conflicts that choke investment, the high cost of finance for ordinary people, the shortage of skills among youth, the slow pace of value addition, and the gap between production in the villages and the factories in industrial parks. It was the kind of diagnosis a technocrat offers when trying to get a country unstuck. The president's reply was striking in its simplicity. I know what Uganda needs. At first, to others, it might have sounded almost dismissive. But when placed in the context of 40 years of state rebuilding, economic reform, and political stability, it revealed something deeper. A belief that Uganda's path to transformation has been consistent, deliberate, and informed by lived experience rather than theory. His confidence is not based on guesswork. It's based on the journey already traveled. He always stresses that any serious revolutionary discussion about the economy of Uganda, or indeed much of Africa, should include the following questions. 1. What was the economy of Uganda like in 1900, at the dawn of colonialism? 2. What was the economy of Uganda like in 1962, at the sunset of colonialism? 3. How and what was the magnitude of the collapse of the Ugandan economy between 1971 and 1986? Idi Amin, Obote II, Okello. 4. What, therefore, was the economy of Uganda like in 1986? 5. What is the Ugandan economy like today, and why?
Live from UBC Studios in Kampala, this is Good Morning Uganda.
Brought to you by Uniquely Ours. Explore Uganda.
The Uganda Consulate in Arusha has added tourism promotion to its official mandate, recognizing the city's status as a regional tourism hub.
It's being discussed under East African community. If they can make the regional flights, they make them like domestic flights, because we are told the tickets are not very expensive. The expensive thing is on the taxes, because they charge very many different taxes, which ends up bringing the taxi very high, the ticket very high.
Ambassador Richard Kabonero, head of the ECD program, emphasized that tourism is one of the 4 key pillars, alongside agro-industrialization, mineral development and science, expected to deliver a high return on investment.
We look forward to more effort in increasing our arrivals, increasing exports to the countries of accreditation, attracting investors, and then these other enablers, whether it's in aviation, whether it is in infrastructure, they are all to support those pillars to grow our economy tenfold.
The highlight of the event was the Uganda Day on June 6th, featuring a networking dinner to bridge the gap between Tanzanian and Ugandan tour operators.
We keep coming to this event because we want our tour operators to get visibility, to be able to get partnerships with the different tour operators in the region, from Tanzania, from Kenya, to be able to partner jointly, have joint itineraries, be able to market and sell each other.
We are here to contribute to the publicity, awareness, but also as organizers of Powate, pick new indices that we can benchmark to make our expo even better.
Officials stressed a strategy of collaboration over competition, marketing unique Ugandan attractions like mountain gorillas, chimpanzees, and the Kazinga Channel as complements to Tanzania's offerings.
Brought to you by Uniquely Ours. Explore Uganda. Live from UBC Studios in Kampala, this is Good Morning Uganda.
Well, it's time for business. Let's look at the stories we have for you. Now, traders and local investors have appealed to government to have funds at lower interest rate for their businesses. Government, through the East African Development Bank, put aside over 1 trillion shillings to be borrowed by local investors to boost their businesses. Let's take a look at the story.
The President, Uganda National Entrepreneurs Traders Association, Dr. Thaddeus Nagenda, has noted that over 5 trillion is needed by traders to engage in industrialization, and the interest rate should be at 5% per year.
To make sure that our economy grows to up to $500 billion economy. And that is a very good opportunity in case our traders start to be interested in that policy direction.
The project manager, Brick Farm Solution and construction company, Mohindo Gideon, says they started the Triple J Agro Farm Limited in Ndeje.
We have a 500 cubic biogas system that helps us cover about 70% of electric bills on this farm. It's a great push, but we are not contented yet. And that has pushed us to acquire more of the biogas generators. As we shall see as we move around, we want to look at having 130% of our energy covered at the 30%.
Professor Emeka Kazwa, the Vice Chancellor of International University of East Africa, Kansanga, asked Ugandans to turn waste into wealth.
Generate energy to run the farm. And that proves the point that waste is not a problem. Waste is wealth. Waste can be transformed into electricity. It can also be transformed into gas for cooking. And that is being demonstrated here at Triple J Farms. I am Professor Emeka, Vice Chancellor.
Dr. Aliyu Hassan, Research, Environment and Energy, International University of East Africa, noted that renewable gas could be used in the homes.
Biogas technology is a renewable energy. Renewable energy meaning that energy that is more efficient, more reliable, that is less carbon intensive. It has a lot of benefits for sustainable development, SDG 16 and SDG 17.
Simon Mbogo, Marketing Manager, Triple J Agro Farm Limited in Ndeje, said apart from dealing in dairy products, they manufacture gas to light the farm.
We don't put anything to waste. So we have dairy cows, about 125 of them, that produce milk and cow dung. In the cow dung, in the milk, we produce yogurts and bone.
Benon Mokwaya and Richard Chirembeka for UBC.
Thank you so much for that, Benon. Now the Global Fund has approved $521 million to the government of Uganda to cater for the people suffering with HIV/AIDS, TB and malaria prevention. The funding begins in January 2027 to December 2029.
When the activities will sort.
This was disclosed by the chairperson, Country Coordinating Mechanism for Global Fund, Dr. Vitecherezo, in the extraordinary meeting for Uganda Country Coordinating Mechanism Secretariat in Kampala.
Has agreed on the amendments we made, on the budgeting process we made, on the activities we thought about, and all of us unanimously endorsed and approved that settlement to end up in Geneva, and should be going to Geneva in only within 48 hours. And when there was no quarrel, the civil organization was very happy, employment partners were very happy, the government of Uganda officials we had were very happy. We are looking forward to getting this money approved and come to Uganda to start running the GC8 come 2020. Because it's going to run for 3 years when the GC7 expires.
The Executive Secretary for Global Fund, Luyimba Zitoni, noted that the funds shall be used to build sustainable resilience systems for health.
Earlier this year, the Global Fund communicated to the country that they have allocated a commitment of over $521 million to support this young country and to contribute to government efforts to fight HIV, TB and malaria. And that grant will start next year, January 2027, for a period of 3 years that will end in December 2029. So for us as CCM and for the country to be able...
Present also was Bogabula North MP John Taylor Ndiko, who said Uganda needs more projects meant to assist the local people.
Still disturbing us, and the key one is actually poverty. So Sanja No Sleep would speak to one, our efforts to eradicate poverty at a massive scale, like the way the president has been emphasizing. Number two, no corruption in this term of governance. We had started on a very good note. I pray that we keep it persistent up to the end.
Okay, as an elected MP, how are you?
And that brings us to the end of our business stories this morning. We'll go for a break, and when we return, Julie will be here with Good Morning Uganda agenda. Please stay with us.
Live from UBC Studios in Kampala, this is Good Morning Uganda.
Pick of the day on UBC. Was brought to you by...
I'll call you every day, yeah, yo, baby, don't know.
You can now get all the Chibuzi out with MTN voice bundles. Call all networks. Kubei Dondoro. Buy a 25-minute voice bundle for only 1,000. Or buy any daily voice bundle of your choice. Dial *100 *21 hash and select daily, or use the My MTN app. When we talk together, we are unstoppable.
Exercise can't be sustained. Eating can't be stopped. It's even harder to lose weight. Come and give it a try. Genshikang L-carnitine chromium capsules. Plant extract, scientific ratio. Take 3 capsules each time. The active ingredient accelerates fat burning, eat twice a day. Don't take a detour. Weight loss starts now. Genshikang L-carnitine with chromium capsules helps you stay in shape. Please follow medical advice when taking this product.
My question is, what is the difference between rental tax and income tax? How comes I'm paying both taxes on my own premises? If you want to have a tin, but you are not making any income from your business, you should take on the obligation to continue filing your nil return.
Commissioner General, to invest in taxation. When people understand taxes and they know the importance of taxes and they know the fair assessment of these taxes they're supposed to pay, I think everybody will embrace taxation.
As banning groupage cargo clearance protects small traders who cannot afford to import full container loads individually and rely on consolidation to remain competitive. Cargo to come in groupage is consolidation, it's legitimate, and we can't ban it. What we have banned, or what we have stopped, is the use of container leaders. Now, Fiona, the good news I have for you is that among the new tax proposals,
now you can get direct answers. Send your tax-related questions via WhatsApp or SMS to 0790-141-887 and the Commissioner General of URA, John Musinguzi, will personally address them. Tune in to UBC News Tonight every Monday and Wednesday for expert insights and clear explanations.